What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, we moved most, like 98% of our stuff down here, including our newly connected, or reconnected rather, nanobot system and drill platform. The one thing that we haven't managed to move down here yet is the medical bay, or medical room, rather. Which is something that we made this hole for. Now, I actually had to remake this because apparently I did not actually make a room here. As in, I forgot to save it, I guess? Because the last save file I had was before I messed around with warheads. So I made another blast area. The small warhead thing does really work, though. It gives us a nice little size room, especially for a medical bay. So let's do like this. I don't actually know how many like steel plates I have to work with right now, but I've gotten a lot more like fast and loose with the building stuff, particularly like materials and things. Now that we have the drilling platform, I do kind of wish, however, that there was a way to enable, not building per se, but like spectator mode placement in survival. Because there's sometimes like that. There's just times where it's hard to get to a spot, and it would be nice to be able to just kind of like go into spectator mode and just snap it on there and kind of be done with it. I get that like you don't have the tools and stuff or materials on you. You don't have an inventory kind of thing. Oh, that was weird. I turned around a weird way, and it looked like one of these blocks was turned at like a 45-degree angle where the rest of these were squared off, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, so we seem to be doing pretty good with that. Possible that we run out of... No, maybe not. I was going to say possible we run out of materials. I may need to work on a script or something to give me... I know. Everybody's probably going to be like, well, there's already the script. I know. I just don't want to use somebody else's is all. That's it. That's all it is. It's not that it's probably not 10 times better than whatever I would come up with, but I did learn programming. I need to use it at some point, dagnabbit. So, yeah, I still need to fix that. Well, I guess I don't really need to. I could just block this off. I'm pretty sure that's actually what I said the last time I was going to do, wasn't it? That I was just going to block that off. Maybe I will. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Would you rather have terrain there or just wall there? I'm not really sure. So yeah, the next step... Do I have any interior plates on me? I do. Good. Okay, so the next step is to get the medical bay down here. And I'm not really sure how I want to do this, but I think for now we're just going to put it like that. Now, the other thing we have to work with as well, I am going to jump into Spectator for a second here, is... oh, wait. Before we do that, I don't know if I have what I need to build that, but I do know that I have another one up here that we can switch to, or that we can break down, type of thing. I do want to figure out what I want to do with the hydrogen tank as well. That's the other thing that I need to figure out. Because this is now disconnected from both the rest of the inventory system as well as the oxygen generator, which is going to be making the hydrogen. So I have to, basically what I have to decide is, do I want to try and basically like transplant it, or do I want to try to just kind of cut my losses and start anew underground? Because if I'm not worried about getting the thing's inventory, which I don't even know how much is really in here, to be honest. It may not be worth the trouble. It is 5% full, so it's 124,000 liters by the looks of things. How much do the bottles hold? 120. So, rough math is that it's 1,000 bottles full? Right? That's right? I think? Maybe? So, I don't really know what this is going to be used for at this point, but I'm sure we'll find a use for something. We've talked about doing kind of like some kind of security defense platform, or a we kind of have the whole observation tower, not really tower, but observation area kind of thing up here. So I don't really think that we need to... we'll probably encase it in glass just because we're kind of doing that. So we could kind of keep that going. Actually, that would be kind of cool to keep this going, is to run it up this walkway and into here and then kind of encase this. And then either have change this around to where we have a door where the glass ends and then this is just the thing, or do something to where this is actually encased as well. We could move the antennas, or antenna, I guess I only have one, somewhere else. Oh, for a minute I thought there was a solar panel down there. It's the shadow. I was like, what is that doing? Where did that come from? I also noticed that when they said they nerfed that whole inventory drop, they weren't kidding. I don't think we've seen one for a couple episodes now. So that's kind of a thing. And wait a minute. Now that I just looked at this, did we ever decide? We didn't. I never really did decide. Okay, I'm deciding at this point. I think the best option for this is to go with the left side, which is angular. For really no other reason than there's no curved glass that I can find. I tried to do an old mod, but apparently it doesn't work anymore. I think it worked, but it was like the transparency was wrong. They were see-through on both sides. There was no tint. So let's go ahead and do that. Good grief, do I love this. Wait a minute, I didn't paint one of those windows down. What is going on there? What is going on there? How do you have a reflection of what's below you? That was that was trippy. Okay, let's just moving right along. Okay, and then we'll do. Should just be these, right? Do that. And then we'll do these like this. And then that should cover us once it gets done with these things. So basically, I'm in love with this nanobot drill platform combo. Is essentially what's going on, because that would have taken me a long time to do it manually, and I'd have to cut out and do stuff. So it definitely is a huge time saver. Huge. Even if for no other reason than it keeps working when you walk away. Like, we can go talk about this and plan stuff and things like that. One suggestion that I do want to use, I think maybe even this episode, weird, is by Zeal Warrior Gamer, I think, Zeal Warrior Gaming, excuse me, who mentioned, why can I not attach that? Am I out of plates? I'm out of plates. Okay, well that answers that. Who mentioned if I put lights in my base, I wouldn't need to walk around with my headlamps on, which is true. That's just, it's true. It's just very true. So yeah, I need to fix that at some point, probably. Why does the nano system have stuff? I don't want you to have stuff. Actually, why is magnesium going before that? That should always... Scrap should always go before magnesium. Let's see. We're in our storage crate. Let's grab all of this stuff, because it does not need it. And then, actually, we'll grab that. There we go. Problem solved. I do like having everything connected. That's the other thing that I actually meant to look at here. Is we need to connect the med bay with the storage system. Well, not necessarily storage system, but the conveyor system. And the main reason being that I believe... Well, okay, hold on. We don't actually need to do that. I don't think we actually need to do that. If memory serves, all that does is connect it to the hydrogen. I believe. And oxygen, maybe? Yeah, we can still get power, and you can still spawn. But we don't have to do oxygen or hydrogen from there. As long as we have the hydrogen tank connected to the oxygen generator's system, then all should be fine. Now the question for that is how we want to do that. Because we do have a junction back here that we can branch off and connect with, but it really comes down to what are we doing? Like, do we want to do a different room for storage tanks, like down here, where you have a couple of hydrogen, a couple of oxygen, whatever, just for, I don't know, the apocalypse, I guess, if you needed to breathe? I don't know. So it really comes down to, oops, if we're doing a separate room or not for the hydrogen. But I kind of want to fix this out here, this hangar area. So I have some ideas for some of this other stuff, like what to do with this platform and things. I'm a little up in the air on like the hydrogen tank and stuff like that, and whether or not we should try and connect the med bay. I kind of feel like we should, just for completionism's sake. I think I had that rotation thing set. Come on, snap to it. There we go. I think that's right. Yeah, so I think that's what we'll go with. I wanted to do round stuff just to break up the typical everything being super angular, but unfortunately, I also like glass. And glass and the round blocks just don't, in my opinion, get along very well. It is possible, as far as like you can do like what we had before, where there's just a rounded edge and a squared off window there. I'm just not a fan. Why is this not going? Is it out of blocks or out of steel? Here, let me check real quick. Wait a minute. I thought I had... I did. What happened? I had a system, or a group up there so I could just check. Yeah, it's missing steel plates. Okay. And I could have made more, but I'll just drop a few more in there. Because I don't actually need that many. It's basically I just need one to place blocks. I don't really need enough to build them. There we go. So that should finish off our edge down there. Perfect. So I'm thinking, unfortunately, this upper part at least, I am probably going to do away with the rounded edges and do more, actually, you know what? Let's just, for decoration's sake, let's throw an angle block there. And then put a steel block there. I don't know. It just looked more like it would be like some kind of scaffolding support thing. Kind of like what we did over here with the bottom part, how it has kind of this angle thing. I don't know. It just seemed like the thing to do. So, yeah, the big two questions now at this point. We have most everything moved down there. We don't have the med bay functioning as a connection for hydrogen, however. But the main big question mark here is what we do with this upper platform. Do we extend it? Do we keep it the same size? Do we leave it? Do we ignore it? Etc. and so on. And what do we do with the hydrogen tank is kind of the big thing. Oh, the other thing we could do, it was mentioned, I forget by who, but it was mentioned a couple episodes back of doing a second solar array, kind of like this one. That might not be a bad option here. I do want there to be some form of, how do I put it? Upper platform on the surface here. I don't mean upper, but I mean like this. I do want there to be some kind of space up here at the top to where we don't just have a door with a 1x1 tunnel that leads underground and a hangar. I'd kind of like there to be maybe a landing pad up here, like more of a landing pad. Actually, you know what we could do? Okay, bear with me a minute. Bear with me just a minute. We could do... actually, I'm going to paint this in a ignore color so that we can do this. Come on. Oh, I keep forgetting about these half slopes. I have never even used these before. I honestly just keep forgetting about them entirely. You know what? Let's play around with that a little bit. Let's try that. Because I'm curious now. Like, if I do a half block... Oh, but then I can't... Okay, so I'm not really sure I'm a fan of these. Because if I do this... then I can't add another half slope up on top. Actually, I can't seem to do that at all. Hold on, can I really not do that? Well, that stinks. I wanted to put one up kind of like that, but up there. Okay. Not sure I'm a fan of half blocks. I mean, because I'm not very creative with how to use them, let's put it that way. Not because they don't have their uses. I've already seen quite a few of them in the Inspiration series, to be honest, so I know better. But me, personally, I don't really have a lot of talent with using those, it would seem. Come on. I do, however, have a crippling thing with symmetry and OCD sometimes. Like, that doesn't matter at all, but I don't like that there is space. Oh, that's right, and I was going to put an angle here, and it gave me a half slope instead. There we go. So, what I'm thinking... I haven't really explained what I was thinking, did I? I want to make another solar array, but I want to do it lower. I guess I could do it higher, but this one's already high enough, so I kind of want to do one where if it spins, it would come in like under this one. I mean, if we're out here, if we come down to about here, we should be fine, and it still has the same kind of range as that one, so I think it'll be okay. I'm not really sure. And eventually, I keep saying eventually, but time, it's fickle. And it doesn't always work the way we want it to in terms of... Time's one of those things that personally, I just never seem to have enough of. I've always got something on my mind that I'm trying to do, that I want to do, and I just don't always seem to get any of it done, or enough of it done. Okay, I am going to vocalize some of this as I build here. We're going to do some build planning. I'm going to try and kind of emulate this. And I think we're going to keep the curve blocks on this for now. We can always go back and change it. So I need a 3x3. And this goes about 2 blocks down. So 2 blocks lower than this one. And this one is... I think it's 1 down there. Nope. Crap. I'm trying to do creative building. So 1, 2... I'm gonna have to do it this way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay. So it's basically 11 in total, but it's 10 from the level of wherever the block is that we started from. And it is from the center point, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks wide. Okay. So let's say that's the center. Do I want to do it that way? Yeah, that should be fine. And then we would have a plus shape, like so. I don't know why I'm flying around right now. Just wasting hydrogen. Okay, so you do something like this. And I said I was going to talk while I was doing this, but we all know how good I am at talking and building. So I will probably say a few things here and there, but you're going to have to work with me if I'm not forming complete thoughts. Alright, so that's kind of the platform where you go. That's definitely far enough that even if it was the same height, it wouldn't bump into that. One of the biggest reasons I didn't want to do the same height is because I didn't want it to interfere. Like when the sun gets here and it's in the way, I didn't want it in front of the other solar panels. That's the biggest reason there. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct? Yeah, see, that would be in the way. Now, there is another option, however, and that's not making it that tall. Which is another option entirely. And I don't mean that many batteries and stuff. I like that setup. I was actually meaning we don't have to extend the piston at all, actually, if not that high. Seems like more than 10. Did I miscount? Probably not, because it's only 2 height difference, so it's probably about the same. Okay, so what we want to do then is let's put a piston. Where'd my pistons go? Oh, they're there. Which way is it? This way. So we'll put a piston there, and then an advanced rotor there. And then we'll do... Where's my batteries? Whoops, whoops. Totally did not mean to fall like that. I meant to land on the rotor. Alright, if I was a battery, where would I have put it? Seriously, I don't see my batteries anywhere. Oh, there they are. Haha. Found you. Okay. So then we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 little batteries. And is that... Okay, see, now this is kind of what I was going for. That height looks like it's a couple blocks maybe lower than that. Or, yeah, 1 or 2. So that should keep it okay. Rotor-wise, that should be fine. I don't think that'll interfere with anything as the rotors spin. What did we say it was? 4 blocks? Yeah, so the solar panel should be able to spin fine. Okay. So speaking of solar panels, they should be around here somewhere. No? I don't know what happens to my hotbars. They just get all confused. Alright, whatever. I probably passed them like 5 times, too. That's the other thing, is I always just miss stuff. Okay. We'll do 1, 2... And I think the best part about the nano drill combination thing, actually just the nanobot in general, is not only will it do all of this for us as far as once we paint it, will it try and build it, but it'll tell us what we're missing, which is just beast. It's awesome. Obviously, the only caveat to that would probably be modded blocks. Why am I not hearing the painting sound? There it goes. Oh, does it not change the painting sound if you've already painted it? Is that what's going on? If so, that would make sense. Okay. So that's going to be a secondary solar array. Not really sure what all I'm going to need. Definitely going to need more blocks for this, though. In particular, just the solar panels and the batteries and such. But that's probably going to work. I think I'm going to turn this into a small landing pad, maybe. Or maybe even a large landing pad. I'm not really sure. Just because I honestly don't know what else to do with it. We already kind of have like an observation con tower thing. Though, if you guys think we should encase it in glass and not make it a a landing pad or something, that's cool too. I just kind of need an idea of what I want to do with it, and I can't think of anything. And I mean, I know that the hangar in there is actually a small hangar, like for the drill drones and stuff like that, so, you know, we don't really need a small landing pad out here. We could use it as a defense platform, I suppose, or a control center. Like, that's to control the hangar, this is to control the weapons, and then have a couple turrets come off of here, like 1, 2, 3 kind of thing, and they have little weapon systems or something. That could be another option as well. One thing we could do is bring this glass up this way, like up this walkway, and leave this platform, move the tank, but leave the platform as like a weapon platform, like there's a couple of turrets or something. And then the glass is kind of like your concealed, or not concealed, but your sealed walkway, and then out on the platform is where the weapons are, and you could do the same thing kind of here where, you know, you have a smaller inset type thing where instead of being out here on the edge, you bring it in a little bit, so there's just like a 3x3 room or something before you go to another walkway, something like that, and then out on the corners you could have like gun turrets or something. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about all of that. And we also have little knobs here that we could come off of this way and that way to do other things for. But like I said, I just don't really have a lot of ideas for the upper part here. Underground part, I have a few ideas of things that I still need to do, like a storage room for the hydrogen and stuff like that. I just haven't come up with a lot of things to do up on the upper platform. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. We do need to start adding some lights, though. And lights are cheap, so they shouldn't be that hard to add. So let's go ahead and start doing some lighting. We'll grab the corner lights and the interior lights. Are they the same thing? For the most part, although we do need steel for the regular interior ones. I did not know that. Let's make a bit of steel. I don't think I have that many to do that with, but that's fine. That and most all of my steel is going to end up going to that upper part there, so I got to be careful about that. How about we go to our drill and start making some more iron. Is it? I don't think the drill's on, actually. And let's go ahead and make a group for that, so that we don't have to scroll through all the time. Actually, I should probably do that with most of my machine stuff. Shouldn't I? The assembler, and where's the refinery? Refinery. Probably in the R's. That would be a good place to look. Okay, there we go. That way we can just kind of flip everything on and off. Yeah, make more. More stuff. So, yeah, lighting. I can't really attach stuff up there, so unless I put a frame like this, which I guess I could, or we could do... Can I do the light up there? I could, but would it matter? So I'm kind of thinking our best bet may actually be a double corner light on the bottom. I'm not really sure. We could also do them like this. Oh, it's trying to attach to the side. I was trying to get it to... Okay, so I think for now we're going to have to do it this way. I also need construction components for that. Okay, so we'll put one there. These I'm not really sure how to work with. These areas. Just because they're angles, so you kind of need like a light above you or something. I guess we could put them like this. No, I guess not. It won't actually let me. Okay. How's that look? So I need to do some adjustments to them, like the values and whatnot. But yeah. So anyways, one of the things I was going to bring up is I am kind of struggling a bit with time stuff lately. Some of you probably noticed that I've mentioned before that, you know, we've been having some personal stuff, like as far as medical things with the dog and stuff that had taken away some of my time working on stuff. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Well, that work. How's that look from this angle? Okay, so you don't really see that. That's kind of cool. It's an interesting way to do it. I might leave that there. Corner lighting may not really work in here very well, now that I'm looking at it. I mean, you can put it there, but it's kind of like in the wall. So, I mean, we're probably gonna do that just for now. And then if we need to, like, change it or something later, we can. I don't even know if this will help. Let's find out. Maybe? Where am I? Not where I want to be. There we go. So it built it there, but I'm wondering if the rock is actually going to end up catching all the light. Kind of looks like it is. Okay. Then in that case, we need to get rid of that, because that's doing literally nothing. Okay, we'll get rid of that light first, and then we'll be able to snap to this one. Maybe? I think that worked. Yep, it worked. Cool. We'll go ahead and put that one back there. So basically, if they're visible, it'll work, but if they're concealed behind the wall, it won't actually give you any light. So for now, we're just going to put a couple like here. I guess we might be able to put one there. It's kind of pointed the wrong way, but it'll at least give a little bit of light until we can figure out a more practical way of doing this. But yeah, so a short version of kind of what I was talking about with the time management type stuff is that, in all honesty, I will probably be changing up my YouTube schedule here in a little bit. I don't really know to what, and I'm not really sure to what degree at this point. Why can I not spin this around? Oh, because it's not wanting to go the way that I want it to go. That would explain it. I wonder what would happen if we just point it that way. Will it give us any light? Because that would be interesting. That's an interesting kind of light way. It's not pointed at your face, it's kind of on the rock. That's kind of neat. One thing we can do is just kind of crank these up a little bit, and that would help a lot with stuff. But yeah, so I will let everybody know here in... I don't know when... I don't... Like, none of this is set in stone. I don't have any time frames or anything like that. It's just something I've been feeling lately, is that I've got too many series that I'm doing at one time, and I can't seem to really dedicate enough time to any one of them to do them any justice, kind of thing. The Elite series has been one of those where, you know, it's been a lot of grinding and stuff that I should have been able to do off camera, and I just hadn't found the time to do it. Space Engineers is another one where I could do bigger, badder projects and stuff, and I just haven't come up with the means to get them done. I could be working on like script programming stuff, things like that, to show off in this and have some of that stuff done. I think the fact that the next season of Dog Squad has not released yet is evident of the time management issues and stuff as well, and I'm still working on my book stuff, trying to get that done. So there's just a lot going on, and then when you throw in personal life stuff and things, and there's a lot of stuff happening in behind the scenes with family life and stuff. It's not really like dire or anything. We don't have a ton of like I mentioned before a few weeks back, probably a month or two now, about the close relative of my mom's passing and stuff. But I mean, overall, we're not dealing with like a lot of stuff like that. But there's just a lot going on in behind the scenes, so it's kind of one of those where it's not that everything is inherently bad. I mean, a lot of you are familiar with like the medical stuff with my dog and things, but it's not like everything is even that is a pain in the butt, when we have to keep an eye on him or something. But it's not really like, oh, he's got cancer, he's dying now, So, nothing too crazy. It's just a lot at one time kind of thing, and it's something I've actually been thinking about for a while now. I've been feeling a bit kind of. I don't think the word overwhelmed is really the proper term, because it's not the same thing. It's just kind of bordering on exhaustion, I suppose. It's not really an overwhelming like, oh my gosh, everything's going on. It's just I keep feeling like I have all these things to do. And some of them aren't getting done, and some of them aren't getting done to the degree that I want them to be done. And so it kind of has made me take a step back and do some reassessing as far as like, what am I really trying to do? What do I really need to do? What needs to be done? What should be a priority? What's not working? Etc. and so on. And so with that in mind, there's going to be some changes down the line here in a bit. And I mean, it is kind of, end of the year, holiday season closing in the winter and around holidays and towards the end of the year and stuff. A lot of people start New Year's resolutions and trying to reorganize and stuff like that. So I'm kind of viewing it the same way. Is that it's a little bit more of like, reconsolidating and kind of just getting reorganized and stuff. But I'm really thinking I've just got too many things going, and none of them are getting done to the extent that I want them to be. Oh, we're making progress out here too. Cool. So that's something that, and feel free to leave your feedback as well. There's a couple of things that probably like will never go anywhere. An example being the Inspiration series. I don't intend for that to go anywhere. Ironically, it is not my favorite series on my channel, but it's blindingly obvious that it's my best viewed series on my channel. So because of that, it's not going anywhere. That one's definitely safe. And there's a couple of things like Space Engineers and stuff that I will probably keep doing. I'm actually growing more attached to Empyreon, though, than some other things. Like, I would probably axe Starbound and Osiris and stuff like that before I got rid of Empyreon, because I think I just have more fun with that game. Space Engineers has a more refined look to it, and there's a bit more of a graphical polish to it in terms of, like, I've talked before about the animations in Empyreon bother me. Because they're very stiff and rigid, and the Space Engineers ones, it just moves a bit more finished, kind of thing. So there's a few things from it really is to me like the same game tackled from two different angles almost. I've said that before, and I kind of stand by that assessment. But so yeah, I really struggle with, I like all the series that I do. So when it comes down to, okay, you need to cut things, and I'm like, well, I don't want to cut anything. I like, so I am kind of with people. They're like, oh, I'd miss anything. I agree. It's one of those where I would have a hard time, but it's just one of those things that I am only one person. And so there are some things that I kind of just have to do if I really intend to make the best out of what I keep doing. So, yeah, like I said, nothing's really set in stone by any stretch or anything. I actually don't even have a real solid plan in mind put together yet as far as what would stay and what would go. I'm really not sure. Other than the fact of stuff like the Inspiration series, that's just not going anywhere. I have no intent of removing that or anything. But, you know, so it is just kind of one of those things I've been playing around with in my head. And so it's something that I kind of wanted to start discussing a little bit, just so it's not a shock when things start changing. Is then everybody's all like, holy crap, I never saw this coming, kind of thing. You know, I'd kind of like everybody to have a bit of a heads up on, I don't know yet what's going to happen, what I'm going to change, what's going to make it through the changes, and I don't know what'll be left and what the structure will be when I'm done. I actually have thought about, and I'm sorry this video is getting a little bit longer, like I said, I have a hard time building and talking, and so I've kind of been building and then I was talking, so that's kind of my bad. But one of the things that I've thought about is I would really kind of enjoy the idea, anyway, of moving away from the standard Let's Play and kind of doing a bit more with stuff like, I don't know how to put it, a more isolated series. Like, why can I not do this? 7? No? Okay. Oh, ha! I bumped a button and my numlock got turned off. I was like, what's going on here? So, let's see. Let's just crank this up a bit. We'll bring this back down. Let's see what that does. I don't have my headlamps on at this point. So, I like that it's not too bright, and it does light up more when you turn the fall off and radius and stuff up. So I think that works pretty good for now. And we can leave our HUD lamps on. But this is what I was talking about with these angles. There's a long stretch where there's not a lot going on there. But, I don't know, maybe you guys like that. Maybe it turns it into more of like a mine feel, which is kind of what I was going for, was more of like you're in a mine kind of thing. But yeah, so, one of the things that I've thought about doing is more like an Empyrean inspiration, keeping the Space Engineers inspiration, doing like the programming series and stuff like that, and moving away a bit from this. And Dog Squad obviously is something that, if I change stuff with my regular schedule, if I cut back on Let's Plays, it's to do more project-like stuff. It's so that you guys will hear more about my book stuff when I'm getting more done faster. And so here's more updates on it, things like that. Dog Squad will get done quicker, things like that. Because at the moment, some of these things, they're not generating a ton of viewership, subscription, things like that, to where my channel is starting to... It hasn't stopped growing, but it's starting to kind of taper off a bit, where it was going more quickly, more upward. And so it's kind of tapered off a little bit. And so it kind of made me question a bit, like, what am I doing with it? And at this point, honestly, I really am trying to be very open and honest with everybody, as far as not, like, you know, try and sell people anything, as far as, like, pitch it a certain way. But what I'm really thinking about doing is doing more with, doing a bit more with turning it into more of an advertisement platform in a way, so you guys can know about projects we're working on in the background, like my book, like my Dog Squad stuff. When we start working on a Dog Squad game, that's been in the pipeline for a while, but I haven't been able to get to it at all, you know. And I mentioned I've been learning 3D modeling and stuff like that. I eventually want to do like Dog Squad graphic novel type stuff, and I would like to do a bit more of talking about those kinds of things and stuff like that. And full disclosure, full honesty here, there's also been a lot of stuff going on with YouTube. There's been a lot of content creators that have switched over to Twitch, and they're like done with YouTube, stuff like that. And I look up to some of them, as far as they're what got me into YouTubing in the first place. People like Generic B, B00, Etho. Now, I don't know about Etho, but I know Generic has had problems with YouTube before, because he's done open letter stuff on his channel. B-Dubs made an announcement not too long ago that he was kind of done with YouTube, and I'm switching over to Twitch almost full-time. I don't know that Twitch would work for me. I'm just saying that there's stuff going on behind the scenes with YouTube itself, as well as my channel itself, as well as my personal... There's just a lot of shifting stuff going on, and I feel like if I don't adapt some of what I'm doing, it's just going to keep going at the snail pace and just kind of like not end up going anywhere. And so I enjoy making videos, but at the moment taking time to make them has felt a bit more like, I don't like using the word burden, because then it sounds like, oh, you're not having fun with it. And when I'm doing it, it's fun. I do enjoy making videos. I do enjoy interacting with all of you guys and hearing ideas and creative things. And why don't you build this here, and going, oh, that's really cool. You know, that's fun. That's like a good portion of why I got into YouTubing in the first place. That said, though, it's kind of one of those, I'm having to think of where I'm going in terms of, you know, what do I want to do? And eventually I would like the whole Sleepless Night Studio brand thing to not just be a YouTube thing, but to be an actual studio, is to produce novels and graphic novels and animations and games and even eventually movies and stuff. That's kind of what we, you know, Caden and I kind of started doing YouTube and other things like that with the intent to build a brand to then kind of move and do our own projects and have that be kind of the career. So at this point, I've started working on, I'm close to finishing my book, in that now I'm in the revision and about to moving into editing and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, we've got all the script stuff for Dog Squad done for season 2. And I've talked before about eventually, when funding's there and stuff and I can branch out a bit more, I'd really like to move away from Dog Squad as a machinima and kind of make it its own 3D animated web series thing type of deal. That way I'm not bound to anybody's restrictions. Not that Keen's been bad about that or anything. Actually, they've been very open to me doing a Dog Squad machinima and stuff like that. But it's just there's things restricting in filming it. There's only so much you can do with the ships. There's only so much you can do with the character animations, and it's kind of restricting. So all of these things have been rattling around my head for years, actually, and I haven't been very vocal about them until recently, when I started really making progress with my book to where it was like, holy crap, this might actually happen, and I might actually put this out here. So then I started really reassessing, what am I focused on? Am I focused on doing Let's Plays? Am I focused on stuff like that? Or am I focused on our projects? Because I'm running out of time to do both. And I don't mean like, I'm not getting any younger. You know, it's true, I'm not. But it's more of just, I've been looking at my day-to-day schedule, and I'm looking the progress that I'm making, and I feel like I'm just spread too thin at this point. And like I said, I do really apologize for this being really long. This is almost like a part 1, part 2. The first part was kind of like the Let's Play. The second part's been almost kind of like a real talk thing. So I apologize for that, but it's been on my mind, and once I started going, the wheels just started turning, and I'm just kind of explaining a lot of things that has been bouncing around in my head. So I appreciate all you guys bearing with me on that. But that's what I'm thinking. Really, all I'm trying to get across at this stage is there's things going on behind the scenes between the channel, between personal stuff, and just the platform, and what I want to do, and where I want my brand to go, and what projects I want to work on. There's a lot of shifting sands at the moment, and so just kind of like a heads up is really what I'm trying to put out at this stage. I don't really have any more concrete stuff than that at the moment. I will try and do, probably, if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, I will probably do a more specific video podcast style thing of just talking about that, so it doesn't interfere with the next episode of this kind of thing. But Space Engineers is largely my biggest pull on my channel, so Inspiration series was like, that's kind of its own thing. It didn't really give me a lot of opportunity to talk about this kind of stuff. My Let's Play's a bit more casual, so it kind of just naturally progressed, and I just ended up kind of babbling about this stuff. So, but the takeaway here, the too long didn't read thing, is, you know, at the end, it's a good place to put that. But the short version is basically just that there's changes on the horizon kind of thing. Hopefully good changes. You know, granted, whenever you cut stuff like, hey, I'm not doing this anymore, there's going to be people that were fans of that, and myself included, that are like, man, that kind of sucks. And it's like, yep, I know. I get it. I don't do videos on my channel that I don't enjoy playing. Like the games I play, I enjoy playing them. So I get it when people are like, oh, I'm going to miss Starbound, or I'm going to miss Osiris, or whatever. You know, it's like I've had to cut series before, and there's, most of the time, most everybody's kind of like, we get it, but there's still some people that it upsets, and I get that. But yeah, the short version is basically just that there's changes coming. And I'm open to suggestions as far as if you guys are like, you know, I really like this, but yeah, I get it. Or even stuff that I mentioned about more updates on projects, or more stylized and more unique series kind of thing, if that's something that interests you and you're like, yeah, that would be cool, let me know. There's no foundation of viewers if not for the viewers. So, I try to satisfy everybody and make sure everybody's cool and happy with what's going on. But at the end of the day, I do have to kind of think about what I'm trying to accomplish and do with whatever I'm working on. So it's kind of a balancing act. It's like I hope everybody ends up happy or can at least understand why I shifted things around. But again, if there's certain things, it's like the Inspiration series. I'm pretty sure I'd have a mutiny on my channel if I was just like, I'm not doing that one anymore. I'd probably lose like half my subscribers overnight or something, So there's certain things that, it does come back to what people want as viewers. But like I said, in terms of just the amount of content and the kind of content and stuff may end up shifting depending on how much I really feel it necessary to move over to other projects and things like that. But do let me know what you guys think. Again, I apologize for the length that it's kind of long and it kind of turned into a podcast back half, but I appreciate all of you guys that are still with me here at the end, because that's cool. But we're going to wrap things up here finally, so I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.